Today we will talk about XDC and a few L2s that have a lot of potential and that are solving real world applications just like XDC is. And it'll have a particular concentration around the ITFA. In general, the XDC ecosystem has been doing extremely well. And today we will talk about 3 L2s on here, and I have one more at the end that isn't technically an L2, but it has a lot of potential. And here is why I have a lot of optimism for where XDC and a number of its L2s can go. I can't play this because it has a song in the background. However, Andre Casterman of Trade Tech is talking about the use of digital assets in trade finance. And that industry is commonly estimated to be worth up to 30 trillion annually. The XDC network is the only L1 network that is a member of the ITFA. And there are a lot of financial institutions involved in the ITFA and the entire XDC ecosystem overall. So, for example, within the XDC ecosystem, you can build a dApp with elite web support. All of your data and Oracle needs can come from PLI. You can launch a project DAO on Circularity Finance and create your own microeconomy, token, and services. And you can then trade that token on a DEX such as CiFi, XSP, or GBEX. And for XDC itself, I have seen a lot of talk about the $1.50 range in the short term, and I have seen a lot of talk about in between $5 and $8 in our cycle. He says that we can expect $20 up to $23 XDC by the end of 2024. I don't think I'm as optimistic as that. However, I think that the XDC network has a ton of untapped potential because there are exchange listings in pursuit now, including Binance, Coinbase, OKX, and Kraken. Right now, it is pretty hard to actually get XDC. I get mine on Uphold. However, if and when it does end up on Binance, Coinbase, OKX, or Kraken, that will open it up to a huge audience. And for the first one, we will talk about the Globiance exchange token, GBEX. Now, I'm not as convicted on this one as I am our other two, but it does have potential because it is one of the exchanges for XDC. It is a deflationary exchange token with automatic rewards, and it does have utility in the sense that it can be used across the GBEX ecosystem for paying fees, voting, or governance. I'm not sure why they went with this kind of branding. I'm not really sure who their target audience is or who they assume that their target audience is. However, I think it does have a lot of potential, primarily because it doesn't have a large market cap at this point. And if, for example, GBEX were to go to a $1 billion market cap, that would equate to about 58 USD each. Here in the GBEX white paper, it talks a lot about ISO 222. And that makes a lot of sense because the entire XDC ecosystem revolves around regulatory compliance. Our next one is Circularity Finance, or CiFi. It has performed extremely well, even over the last 24 hours, and it has a market cap of only 3 million at this point. It is all about regenerative finance, and it talks about who they're partnered up with here. Here's another example of it performing extremely well even on a bad day. And as we go back to calling out the TDFI, you've got huge institutions such as Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, as well as Circularity Finance involved. Right now, it's only at that $3 million market cap with only 1.8 million circulating supply. The fully diluted supply of CiFi will only be 100 million, but it'll take 25 years to actually get there. And as of 24 hours ago, there are only 355 token holders. The industry that Circularity Finance is concentrating on is worth about 31 trillion on its own. So to recap here, it is an XDC L2. It has a tiny market cap and a potential of over 100x according to him. It does actually have a use case, and it's also scarce. At a $500 million market cap, the price will shoot up to 200. And I'm not really sure how that math works because it's at about a 3 million market cap right now, which would be about 70x from here. However, it obviously has a ton of potential still. From their X account here, they have partnerships in India, Africa, Latin America, as well as the UAE, which is a trade finance hub and ties into Trade Finex, R3 Corda, and SBI, which then ties back into Ripple and XRP. The third, XDCL2, is plugin PLI. I am probably the most optimistic on this one, not necessarily because of tokenomics, but because of what it is actually accomplishing. It is a decentralized oracle on the XDC network. And what exactly is an oracle? It is a third-party service connecting smart contracts with the outside world, primarily to feed information in from the world, but also the reverse, which is important in smart contracts because the more information a contract is able to connect to, the more intelligent and advanced it can be. PLI is coming into the BNB ecosystem, and XDC is working on getting put on Binance. So that news about XDC ties in together with PLI extremely well. For XDC, we need something to bring off-chain data on-chain, so we need PLI, which also happens to be an ultra microcap ready to explode. And who did Circularity partner with? PLI. And each of them are on XDC. PLI will be XDC's go-to oracle in a market worth trillions that is expanding as XDC opens up more and more investment because they are tokenizing trade finance assets. And I also wanted to include Wadzpay WTK, not because it's an XDCL2, but because it does interact with the XDC network as well. And I think it has a lot of potential, and there is a lot of progress and development and partnerships with Ripple, Algorand, and the XDC network that are indicating to me that it has a ton of potential as well.